I just was thinking of a song, and it goes, "They're not criminals. She's not a criminal. He's not a criminal. They're not criminals." That's how it goes. And I mean that you cannot say people trying to thwart the left's approach to try and make new gun laws. I'm just saying that people are not criminals before they commit a crime. You can't be a criminal. The guy who committed the crimes at in Oregon Community College the other day could not have been a criminal before he committed the criminal act. So them trying to make a ill law is actually making a criminal out of people with mental illness, and it's an attack on mentally ill people. I just want to say other schmooze, I mean news, but I'm just saying that I don't support Kim Davis or anybody else that tries to stop people getting gay marriage. I don't approve of gay marriage myself. I think it doesn't matter what I think. If I think it's wrong, I just or not or whatever my personal opinions are. But I think that it's her duty to step down from the job, maybe get another job, maybe quit that job, let somebody else do it somehow. If she wants to get in the way of it, I think that they're not doing Jesus's work or whatever they think they're doing. So I don't support them anymore, especially whenever they talk to the Pope. I don't follow the Pope. I don't believe in it. I don't listen to that stuff. So I subscribe to a whole different type of Christian belief and faith that I have for myself. And I believe that we are typically ones that don't even talk about it. You can tell a lot of the times that we're honest, decent people, and we don't screw people around. We don't act, usually act stupid or anything like that, but we're straight up people. We don't expect to get screwed over in that sense. But we don't go pushing our views on people, is what I'm saying, where I'm coming from in particular. I don't think I do. So, when you're talking about a simple ornament on a cake or something else like that, I'm a Christian, yes, I am, but I want to know where it says in the Bible. I'll go look myself, but I'll go look in the Bible where it says not to conduct business with people um, for reasons like that. It's a business. I gotta clear my throat every morning for some reason. But anyways, um, I think it has a little bit to do with the way that my table that I'm using here is. It should be elevated up so I can not scrunch down. It seems like when I scrunch over, I'm having to do that. But anyways, I would personally uh, do business, and I would maybe do it even with a smile, but I wouldn't say anything about my faith, and I would not refuse to do business with people, even though I believe that those people in Oregon with the cake have a right to refuse service to somebody. Those people could easily go get another cake, and they were not $150,000 offended there. It just is not possible. So, anyways, I personally, um, believe strongly how I believe, but I will not refuse to take money or revenues that a Christian person, can make these days. If if all a Christian's money is being spent and goes out into the world everywhere, Disneyland, science, um, you name it, geology, geography. I mean everything, right? And then for the most part, they don't want Christians to get any of the money back, right? or they're kind of hateful to Christians in the world. So I'm just kind of scratching my head and kind of don't want to beat my head up against the wall, but I'm scratching my head and I'm wondering, wait a second. So you Christians are out here, you're willing to go spend your money anywhere in the world, but yet whenever it comes to the world coming to you, you refuse them service. Yeah. Am I missing something? Because I've always kind of thought about business kind of like I'm not trying to be honest, Lee. I love Jewish people and I'm friends with Jewish people. I'm just saying how they are with money. People want to talk trash about them sometimes. I'm just saying I always think kind of clear-headed when it comes to business. In that sense, I'm not in business, but I've always thought that I was a clear head when it came to business, and there's no way I'm going to not make money if I have an opportunity to make $50 to $50,000. You know what I mean? I'm not going to conduct myself unhealthy and not the way that I personally would not approve of my own self. But that's not. I'm not the world. I'm not those people coming to me. And plus, I thought it said that in the Bible, we possess the ability to even make our enemies love us or make our enemies look up to us and respect us and think, hey, that guy makes a little bit of sense. So um, that's what I think or whatever. So I'm not buying it, especially after Kim Davis or whatever, the clerk in Kentucky that refused to give the gay people their marriage certificate. If you wanted to keep the job, you should have gave them their ticket. The courts and everything said that you have the right to do that, but she had talked to the Pope. It's in the media and in the news, and it's also bumbled up. The information is confused all up in itself as a source because you know what happened. The Pope came out and said that gay people are going to heaven, and he said atheists are also forgiven. So he made a big, huge announcement that's kind of, in a lot of other Christian type of people's perspective, thinks that that's surprisingly wrong of him to do. It's just not anything like we believe in at all. We don't believe homosexuality is approved by God. It's still a sin, but I'm not gonna get in the way of conducting business and making money. So we know that for a fact that it's confused all the way through. I'm not buying it. If I was them, I would either step down and quit working there. Probably, maybe if I was, but I don't know because I wasn't. I don't take that clerk job or whatever for a lifetime job, but thing to do. But since the Pope said that about gay people, and she's having a hard time with gay people in particular because of her views, I'm lost. So I have no idea why they can't, why they're having such a hard time there, authorizing the thing until it's either repealed or undone or changed or whatever. Um, I just, I'm not buying it anymore. It's too confusing. So I'm going to step out of the way, at least if I'm not actually going as far as to saying that I'm against what they're doing. These clerks from trying to stop that. I'm not for gay marriage at all, but I'm definitely not buying Kim Davis's story anymore. And Um, and people with mental illness are not criminals, and anybody else is not a criminal unless they commit a criminal act. The last guy who went onto this campus the other day, for whatever reason it was, the person, as far as I know, didn't have any way that you would have been able to have seen the signs, had it where it would have prevented him even from obtaining guns or having them. So I don't know how they're going to be able to do that unless they did what I said in my other video, that they're going to make criminals out of all mental people. Anybody who has any kind of mental disorder or anything like that, you will have to be scrutinized and labeled as a criminal. So if these mentally ill people go to buy a gun, they could possibly be charged with the crime and thrown in jail just for trying to buy a gun, not being a criminal, not even having even a thought to go do something like that. It's quite horrific. You know, I don't want to, I don't want to really think that somebody would go out and do that periodically and right away, and um, but maybe that's another reason why other people's guards are down. Wouldn't expect it, maybe, because you don't expect somebody to do that. So anyway it goes, those people are not criminals, and I don't see how you can make a case for somebody who would do that had some kind of mental illness. um, but I do understand the domestic violence, though. I do understand and kind of agree a little bit with um, the argument of not necessarily angry people, but people who have a violent past, that have, I would guess, probably showed some kind of sign like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we should convict people for eternity. Do you think that there's not ever going to be a time when people would be rehabilitated? Probably not. But clearly, you see, I wanted to do a documentary on how many people actually possessed firearms, and I'm sure like a lot of them don't want to really be exposed to people know they have a firearm on them. But maybe there's a lot of people and we don't realize, you know, we become kind of scared or whatever. That's what the liberals really want people to be scared of, people that just have a firearm on them. The people with firearms know that, so they hide them where you can't ever tell that they have them, but they're all over the place, and you never know because they're not trying to expose themselves with that anyways. There's some other rules that they're trying to use it for self-protection. They have a concealed license that makes them have to keep it guarded and secured more. I was just thinking that people needed to have the ability to get firearms or whatever. Pepper spray can be good at it. Or get the dog the bounty hunter. What if he was there with his can of spray? Um, I'm just saying, or that kind of spray, that thing is pretty effective. So, um, I just think people should ought to be ready and be fast, quick on the draw if they're honest. In the mental case issue, um, I don't really see people with mental illness really. um, trying to go seek out firearms really too much anyway. So it's a complete criminal act, so you have to keep it criminal anyways. Mental, I don't know. I can argue that it's not mental illness, that it's a criminal act, because when they go to court, if they can prove that the guy was mental, then they might be able to put him in a mental facility instead, and not actually put him in jail, and try him as the criminal that he really is, the person really was or is. So it's just, I'm just kind of, I've already made my kind of opinion on that. So um, I'm really, I'm really kind of starting to lose track of what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna leave it that like that. There was some other news. In the, let's see if I can pull some up and see. Oh, something in Newsmax just says Trump targeted for assassination. That's good. You know why? Because that means that Trump is more for us. So if somebody would want to try to assassinate him and he actually became president and he's running for president, that's another good sign, because he's listening to us and they're threatening that he's actually going to do what he says when he comes out and tells us stuff. That's awesome. I mean, I don't know how else to put him targeted like that into light. Let's see what else. Saddam and Gaddafi should have stayed. That's what Trump's saying. Saddam and Gaddafi should have stayed. And that's coming from Fix This Nation. Newsmax.com is the one that is reporting right now Trump targeted for assassination. And then the Saddam Gaddafi thing, I maybe argue with the Gaddafi thing, because obviously they put a worse government in there. I don't even know if you call it a government, what you call that. It's basically what this guy was trying to say in a YouTube video the other day about Germany becoming a place kind of without borders, since they got all those people there now. So maybe that's what it sounds like. That what happened now since Gaddafi is removed, that they are now a place with no borders. So there's no law really. You can't. It's like the law of the land, where what goes on there is strictly, law. So I don't really know what else to say. So that's crazy news. All right, peace.